The Expanse Osiris Reborn was just announced in June, and while we are probably a ways away before its actual release, if you're new to the Expanse universe, here is everything you should know before playing the game. But before I show the massive list of expanded media, I just want to clarify that the Owlcat devs have made the game an easy jumping point for new fans. So for those unfamiliar with the Expanse world, you don't need all of this stuff. You don't have to read or watch anything before you play the game. But if you want to, the game itself will be taking place alongside the story within the books and the show. For the show, it will span Season 1, 2, and half of Season 3. And for the books, it'll span the first 2 books. The game's story will be its own thing, but it will run parallel to these events, and they do connect. There will also be cameos from the show and returning characters reprised by their original actors. And there will also be connections to the books. So if you want to be able to enjoy all those Easter eggs and cameos, here's what you'll need. The game isn't super close to coming out, so it'll give you enough time to read through the books, comics, novellas, watch the show, and even play the Telltale game. It's a lot, so you might want to get started now. If you're wondering about canon, the books and comics are both their own canon. The show is based on the books, but like all adaptations, it takes its own liberties and has really become its own canon. The comics follow this canon, as does the Telltale game. So just to clarify, there are the books and novellas and their original canon story, and then the show, comics, and game, which are the adaptation canon centered around the show. Based on what has been said, and Owlcat working with Alcon Entertainment, the production company behind the show, the game will focus more on the show's canon, I expect, but based on their teases, will also include book elements as well. So if you don't want to read the books, you could just watch the show, which is what I recommend at the very least, because the show is very, very good. It's definitely one of the best sci-fi shows ever made. So if you're going to read or watch one thing before the game comes out, definitely watch the show. But if you want to read the books and know the original story, then here's that information. There are 8 main books in the Expanse series, and then 8 additional novellas that serve as prequels and bridges between the main books, which is crazy because the main books are already pretty thick. So with the novellas, there's a lot to this world. Each main book is about 500 pages at least. So if you're a slow reader, you might want to get started now. If you're only interested in the main books, then publication order is how you want to read those. But if you want to read the novellas as well, here is the order for them according to the timeline of events. Regarding the show, again, the show is based off of the books, but it took on a little bit of a mind of its own. So it is its own canon, and it does have comics to supplement it. And the show was canceled before it got to finish covering all of the events in the books. So you'll see on this image here directly from the wiki itself that books 7, 8, and 9 aren't covered in the show. For the show though, there are 5 prequel comics, and the Telltale series is also a prequel, set 3 years before the events in the show. You can then begin the show, and then after Season 4 there's a 4-issue comic bridging to the next season. Then there's Season 5 and 6, and that's the end of the actual show. But the Expanse Dragontooth continues the exact same story, picking up directly after the show ends. But it doesn't tell the story in the main books 7, 8, and 9. Instead, it's a bit of its own story, set before the events of Book 7. This series of 12 comics was also overseen by the original authors of the books, and also Alcon Entertainment, the producers of the show. So like all the other comics, this is more in line with the show's canon. And The Expanse is actually still getting more content. Wes Chatham, who plays Amos in the show, is working on a new comic that continues the show's canon. The Expanse: A Little Death is a massively successful Kickstarter project and is currently in production, with a planned release around November of 2026. So there's even more Expanse content on the way, aside from the game. The Expanse is a massive world with a lot of story and a lot of world building. I'm actually starting my own journey through all of these after I finish the last 2 Witcher books, and I plan on reading everything. I love the Expanse world, and I'm so excited to see what Owlcat does, and what they pull from the books and show. So if you're really going to do one thing to get into the game, watch the show. It's really, really good. It feels grounded in reality and sci-fi, and the writing is really good. It's also one of those shows that gets better as the seasons go on. Of course, it's not perfect, but it's something I hope the Mass Effect TV show can take some inspiration from, because I think it is that good. The cast also recently reunited. For what, we don't know, but how cool would it be if they returned for the game? And this is a vague spoiler, but I think at the very least, James Holden will reprise his role, since the reviews of the demo said that his face had been digitally scanned to recreate his broadcast in-game, which means we'll hopefully and probably see more of the Rocinante crew. And with Shohreh Aghdashloo's history of being in Mass Effect and Destiny and other video games, I'm hoping she was open to returning into this one as well. And unfortunately, if you're watching the Expanse news like a hawk like I am, then you'll be disappointed to know that according to the devs in their official Discord, the Expanse weekly Monday through Friday updates will only be on Tuesday and Thursdays moving forward. Which makes sense since the game isn't super close, but I also think the hands-on demo impressions are kind of over as well, so we've probably seen most of the marketing for now. Hopefully, maybe during the Game Awards we'll see more, but at least until then you have some homework. There is plenty of story to catch up on in the books, comics, game, and show. For easy reference, I've also linked the Expanse wiki, which really covers all of these timelines and the order in which you should read and watch stuff. So if you need that reference, make sure to check out the link below. But let me know what you think. If you plan on reading these books, let me know. Or you can even come join my Discord and chat with me about them as I read them with you. I will be covering any and all upcoming news regarding the Expanse. So if you're interested in more, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that cheesy stuff that I hate saying. Anyways, thank you to my channel members, thank you to my Patreon members, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.